Once upon a time, in a big, warm pizza box, there lived a slice of pizza named Pip. Pip was a pepperoni slice with gooey cheese and 7 perfect pepperonis. But Pip had a secret. He didn't want to be eaten. He wanted to be a hat. The other slices laughed, but Pip didn't care. He imagined himself as a fancy pepperoni-patterned hat, seeing the world from up high. Every day, Pip practiced balancing on his tip and puffing out his crust like a brim. The others giggled, but Pip just smiled, dreaming of being the best hat ever. One sunny morning, the pizza box was left open a crack. Pip seized his chance, wiggled free, and slid onto the kitchen counter. Freedom! The kitchen was full of wonders. A shiny toaster, a big fridge, and a squawking parrot. "Pizza on the loose!" the parrot cried. Pip giggled. His adventure had begun. He was ready for anything. He looked around, determined to find the perfect head. Pip's cheesy heart beat with excitement. He knew his dream was silly, but it was his. He took a deep breath and set off. The world outside the box was big and bright. Pip was on a mission to become a hat. He slid toward the unknown, full of hope. The adventure of Pip the Pizza Hat had officially started, and he was just getting warmed up. Pip zipped outside into the sunny day, spotting a park across the street. "Parks have people, and people have heads!" Pip cheered. He scurried across the grass, eyes on a man reading on a bench, a perfect bald head. Pip crept closer, took a deep breath, and leaped onto the man's head. "I did it! I'm a hat!" Pip cheered. But the man's head was slippery. Pip slid left, then right, like a cheesy playground ride. The man felt something warm and gooey. "What in the world?" he said, touching his head and finding cheese and sauce. He didn't feel a hat. He felt lunch. Pip squeaked, "Yikes!" and slid off, hiding behind the bench. The man looked around, confused, not seeing Pip. Pip's heart raced. Being a hat was trickier than he thought. Maybe a bald head was too slippery. He needed a new plan, a head with hair. Pip peeked out, determined to try again. He scanned the park for another opportunity. Hair would be less slippery, he thought. Pip wiped off some sauce and got ready. He wouldn't give up on his dream. The park was full of possibilities. Pip was still on his quest. He just needed the right head. With a cheesy grin, he set off. The adventure continued. Pip was not done yet. Pip spotted a fluffy poodle named Fifi with a giant puff of fur on her head. "Perfect! Not slippery, fluffy!" Pip thought. He waited for Fifi to stop, then leaped onto her head. It was like landing on a cloud. Pip was thrilled. "I'm a hat, a real live hat!" he cheered. But Fifi sniffed the air. She smelled pizza. Her eyes widened as she spun in circles, trying to see what was on her head. Pip clung on, dizzy as Fifi spun faster. "Too fast!" Pip cried, the world a blur. Fifi shook her head. Pip went flying into a pile of leaves. Fifi ran off, still searching for the pizza smell. Pip lay in the leaves, dazed. Being a doggy hat was way too wobbly. Pip realized he needed a new plan. He brushed off the leaves and stood up. Maybe hats need to be steady, he thought. Pip looked around for another chance. He wasn't giving up. The quest for the perfect head continued. Pip was determined to try again. Pip crawled out of the leaves, feeling discouraged. Being a hat was harder than he thought. Too slippery, too wobbly. He sat on a curb to think. A girl on a scooter zipped by, wearing a bright blue helmet. A helmet! Not a head, but on a head, Pip realized. He scurried up the scooter and landed on the helmet. It was perfect, stable, and high up. "I'm the coolest helmet decoration ever," Pip declared. The girl rode off, wind rushing past Pip. He felt like he was flying, a pizza-powered helmet hat, but the wind grew stronger. A big gust lifted Pip off the helmet. "Oh no, not again!" he cried, tumbling through the air. The girl didn't notice as Pip spun away like a pepperoni kite. Pip soared higher, carried by the wind. He tumbled and spun, helpless. The world whirled below him. Pip wondered where he'd land next. His dream felt further away than ever. But Pip wasn't ready to give up. The wind set Pip down on a bakery windowsill, dizzy and sad. Next to him sat a wise old pretzel named Sal. "Tough day to be a hat?" Sal asked. Pip nodded and shared his story, his dream, his failures, and his wish to be special. Sal chuckled. I've seen donuts try to be wheels and croissants try to be boomerangs. You've got spirit, Pip. But why be a hat for others? Why not be special as yourself? Pip listened, thinking about Sal's words. Being yourself is the most special thing of all, Sal said kindly. Pip looked at his cheesy pepperoni self. Maybe being a pizza wasn't so bad. Sal smiled. You just need the right moment. Pip felt a spark of hope. He thanked Sal for the advice. Pip realized he didn't have to change who he was. He just needed to find his own way to be special. Pip's dream wasn't over. It was just changing. He was ready for his next adventure. Pip thought about Sal's advice. Being yourself is special. Suddenly, the bakery door opened and a man in a tall white hat carried out a fresh pizza. Pip had an idea. He could be a hat for a pizza. He scurried down, followed the man, and returned to his old pizza shop. The man set the new pizza on the counter next to Pip's old box. Looks like we're one slice short, the man said. Pip seized his chance, leaping onto the fresh pizza and standing tall. The other slices gasped, Pip! You're back! Pip stood proudly, the top of a pizza mountain, a pizza hat for a pizza. The man in the white hat chuckled, leaving Pip as a decoration. Pip felt proud and happy. He wasn't just a slice, he was a pizza crown. Pip had found his place. He was special, just as he was. The adventure had brought him home. Pip was finally the hat he'd always dreamed of being. Soon a family came into the pizza shop for a birthday. The man in the white hat presented the special pizza with Pip standing tall on top. Wow! A pizza with a hat! The birthday boy exclaimed. Pip's cheesy heart swelled with joy. He wasn't a hat for a head. He was a hat for a party. The family took the pizza home, Pip the star of the show. At the party, the kids cheered, "The pizza is wearing a hat!" They sang happy birthday and everyone laughed at the silly special pizza. Pip had never felt so happy. He was a decoration, a surprise, a reason to smile. Pip learned it's good to have big, silly dreams, but the best thing is being proud of who you are. Pip was a pizza, and that was pretty great. For one special birthday boy, he was the best pizza hat in the world. Pip's dream had come true by being himself, and that was more than enough.